Hello and welcome back to Mr. Excalibur. My name is Arthur, and today we're looking at another one of these kind of ready-made pseudo custom-made swords known as Lyueswords. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Lyue, sword. If I'm getting it wrong, I do apologize. The one I ordered was, ironically enough, kind of in response to a sword that I had ordered very similar to this through Huawei. I'd been given about a 90-day estimate as far as when it would be done, and basically that time frame came, stayed, and left. And I was left kind of wondering, okay, is it really worth wondering when I'm ever going to get this thing? Then I saw some reviews on Lyuesword as kind of an alternative to swords of Northshire. No reference to Sinosword or Jakku, but it was seen as kind of an alternative to swords of Northshire. So I decided to actually end my order with Huawei and go with Lyuesword. And I have to say, the result that I got was very nice. I ordered a rather intricate detailed saya on this one with some mother of pearl kind of inlaid here. There's some nice shidodome pieces on the kuragata, nice heavy sagao cord here, and overall a very nice sword with one downside that is really the only one that I can see. Yeah, it's a bit of a rattle, and this rattle extends quite a ways. I can feel the majority of the blade kind of wavering inside. Now mind you, this sword, all the selections I got on it was about just over $300. So I think it's a pretty good deal for the money you're spending. Now let's take a look at the blade. I got an Unokubi Zukuri blade, which is very quickly becoming a very popular blade shape out there in the market right now. And once you guys see the cutting footage, you're gonna see why this thing cut like a laser beam. The way they detailed everything with the small bohea going right up here along the middle of the center ridge, how sharp it came. I really enjoyed the ironworks here, which I think are actually just pressed brass, and then the coloration on the outside is some kind of paint or heavy enamel. And what they've done is they've left various characters in brass kind of showing through. Really like the habaki that I chose here. Not an ordinary one, but one that had some little bit of style to it. Really enjoyed my experience here with Lyuesword. I also got a leather handle, but not just any leather. I got the kind of leather that normally the Honda Raptors come with, and it's a really nice, soft feeling leather on those swords, and I really enjoyed it. So when you see me cutting, I'm actually not using gloves at all, which is something I don't ordinarily do. In addition, I also got this battle wrapped, where the midsection right here does not have the traditional kind of bow tie folded knots. Instead, it's just wrapped very tightly right here in the center. It is very comfy to use. My overall impression is that this is a nice company. Whenever I had any questions, they were very responsive when it came to answering anything that I had for them, which is really important in this industry. There are a lot of other name brand swords where you don't get that kind of customer response. So I was very pleased with that. And a little bit of comparison here. All these swords are coming from China. I ordered a Huawei sword. They gave me a 90-day delivery date on that project, which was, by the way, very similar to this. 4 months in, they were giving me every kind of excuse in the book as to why it wasn't getting to me. I canceled my order. I ordered through Lyuesword. They told me 2 months plus or minus a week. It got here in 2 months plus or minus a week. I think there was an additional week for actually to get here, and boom, it was on my doorstep. And they were very prompt about how it would get here. Lots more details on this to come. As you guys see the unboxing footage, there are a couple other reviews that I have included stills of, primarily because not only did they order a sword through this company, but they ordered one almost, as far as the blade is concerned, identical to the one I have here. So I think those are relevant comparisons to how we did here. Not a lot of extra cutting footage except my own, which I have to admit was a lot of fun. This thing was very light and wonderful to be able to move around. And, at the end of the day, I'd say, yeah, it is a worthwhile name to consider if you're looking to put a sword together through one of these Chinese companies that, give you all the coloration on the side, the cord color, blade style, blade metal. I got this one out of 9260. I wanted a nice resilient spring steel blade for this one. I actually got it 30 inches with a Tsuka, about 12 inches, and it came exactly like that. It came exactly as I ordered. So, really no complaints. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Hope it's been informative for you, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. So we're unboxing the custom Unokubi Zukuri Katana from Lyuesword. Now, as is often the case with these make it your or design it yourself swords, it came in a form-fitted styrofoam box. Now, the downside of this is if you ever decide to get rid of it or sell it off, you end up having to put in another kind of box. But yeah, that's not a big deal. But the essentially it is a disposable container that we see here as part of how these swords come to you. And here is the certificate of authenticity that I got from Lyuesword, showing what it was made from, the different materials, and of course dimensions that were involved in making it. The entire sword came bubble wrapped. The handle, the suga came shrink wrapped. There was an additional wrapping around the blade. So there was a lot of prep that go into these when they are made. Now here is a nice close-up of the sword. Take a look at that nice inlay that they put on the saya. It's very nice. It is very nice and heavy sageo cord that they put on the saya. Here you have a nice close look at the Tsuma, Gashina, and Fushi. Nice suede leather handle. And there's the whole package right out of the box. Sorry guys. So there is a sword coming out with the kind of the cellophane covering over the blade. Blade came lightly oiled, so it would survive the trip over here. The sword was amazingly light. Now, I had this sword made out of 9260 spring steel. I wanted a much more durable blade for this, and so that's what I asked for. And I got it. I mean, it really was quite nice. Kind of just wiping off the sword a little bit more. A little off camera here, sorry guys. Was very happy with the polish on this sword as well. So let's give it a test here with the paper cutting. Really just is kind of an introductory look at how sharp a sword is. It fit nicely enough in the side, but as I showed you in the summary, it did have a decent amount of rattle. So here is the cutting, and it just flayed the paper. Didn't have to push it at all. We do have to keep in mind that this is a very inexpensive sword for everything that they are doing. Now, in our next clip here, I'm actually going to be showing you the Lyuesword website. I've seen other do-it-yourself or design-yourself sword websites, and there are varying degrees of either too simple or too many options. And for someone who doesn't really know the anatomy of a katana, that can be a little intimidating. And here's a nice close-up of it. Looking at the Fushi, suede leather handle, Gashina. There's a nice little writing and impressions that I got on it. Sorry for the shaky camera, guys. I'm starting to use my phone a little bit more. Now, the reason why I have beloved on this is, quite honestly, this sword was made for my wife. Now, here is the Lyuesword website. It brings you initially to a homepage where they do have some swords already made, ready made for you. Swords of Northshire does the same thing. However, what we want to look at is the custom website or the custom page. I'm highlighting this up here because I'm showing you the time that they estimate how long it will take. And they stuck to that timetable, even in the midst of everything that's going on right now. Just as a timestamp, this was made in December of 2021. So just highlighting what the different selections here are, the drop down menus of the length of the sword, you have various options, and most of them are these very convenient drop down menus. Now, some of the selections, like the Suwa, Fushi, Kashira, what Lyuesword has done is to match those up. So you have a whole matching set versus on sites like Hanbon or Sword or Swords of Northshire, you kind of have to mix and match them yourself. So Lyuesword has kind of gone the extra step here in matching those things together for you, which is actually kind of nice. Not so much that they're doing the thinking for you, but it is nice rather than kind of hit or missing the matchup between the different ironworks. They actually have complete sets already put together for you. Just taking a different look at the different steels here. Like I mentioned, I went with 9260 spring steel. They have a wide variety of steels and forging techniques that you can get into. Here are various selections of the ironworks sets. That would be an entire set, everything from the Utsuma, Fushi, Kashira, as well as Minuki. So they have all that really kind of matched for you, which is kind of nice. Now this, just like everywhere else, is mass produced and probably used by several other of these design yourself swords. So how unique they are? Well, it's not so much about the parts in of themselves being unique, but it's more along the lines of the combination you put together that makes them unique. So here, what you have to do is kind of scroll down to match the number from the drop down menu above to what it actually looks like down here. So it's a little bit more comprehensive than, let's say, Swords of Northshire, in giving you an idea of what it looks like. However, on the other side, probably a little more of a clumsy menu than what you would find at Sword or Jayco. So the website itself, as far as how it can be manipulated, is kind of somewhere in between. There are some out there that are definitely better. There are others that are almost too simplistic. And then you come back up here once you've seen what it looks like, and you can select the number of what you want as far as the Saya color or the ironwork selection, your Edo wrap, the Samigawa wrap underneath, what color we want there, all of that. So that's it. Lyuesword, how you can put it all together yourself. There were two other people who also did videos of this. Michael Rizzo, hope I'm getting that name right, did a sword that he got from them, very similar to the one I got. He got it with, I believe, a normal cord scale Edo wrap on the handle. He also got an Unokubi Zukuri blade. He, though, got his, I believe, differentially heat treated and got it with a high carbon steel. Don't know exactly what kind, but that was his selection. If you want to see his review, I'll have it tagged down below. Now, our friend here also got one, and actually in response to Michael Rizzo, and his selection was very similar. Again, an Unokubi Zukuri blade. I believe his differentially heat treated as well. He got actually a nice matte finish on his sword. By the way, both these guys very happy with these swords, both very light, and we're both very happy with the results. Alright, my turn cutting with this thing. This sword was exceptionally light, but unlike other lighter katanas that I've had, this gave the impression in my hand of being very sturdy and well built. And what was even better was just how sharp this thing came and how wonderful it cut. Now, I wouldn't say it was the best out of the Saya. The Habaki stuck quite a bit, and of course you got that rattle. But I mean, those things can be adjusted over time. But normally, whenever you see me handling katanas, you do see me wearing gloves. The suede leather on this sword was so comfy that I didn't have the need to do it here at all. Which was really nice. It was so comfy in the hand and very light to swing. I know I kind of am repeating myself as far as how this was how it handled, but that really was the overwhelming impression that I got, which ironically is exactly what I wanted. I liked the suede leather from the Raptor series, but was always disappointed in how those swords came. Either they were sharp or there were pieces loose. This sword, on the other hand, cut like a laser beam. And here's our first example. And whoosh. Right from a standing position. I was, wow. I was very happy with how this thing cut. Now, you always have to worry about getting a little too cocky, because then you have a hit like this, bong. Yep, it always happens. So let's try it again. Can you recenter? This was actually pretty heavy juice bottle, and whoosh, yay, setting cut. And that was a heavier bottle too. I was very happy with how this thing cut when I knew I was doing it right. Let's try another one of those heavy ones. Well, it cut, but didn't stay standing. So we keep on working. So another one. This one was also pretty heavy plastic. It was called, okay, how is this going to work? Let's try it again. Get myself centered here and hopefully cross your fingers. Let's see how it does. Drum roll. And yes, I was like stoked that this was cutting so well. Much bigger bottle here. Bigger target. A lot of people kind of diss the bottles being cut. But normally when everybody talks about water bottles, they're referring to these very thin plastic things. Well, you get some of these heavier juice bottles, and man, they can really put up a fight even for these very sharp katanas. Milk bottles, on the other hand, great version, poor man's version of bottle of shigiri. Well, miss, got you. I'm just cutting it for the hell of it now. And done. 9260 is still carbon steel. It will rust. Clean off, oil it, wash it down, make sure there's some kind of oil on it once you put it back, so you have it to play with another day.